Greetings, one and all, from the White Mountains of Arizona. We thought we'd bring you in on a little sunset. That's right, we got a few waning minutes of sun left, so we're going to start our channeling now. And we got a good one for you today. We're talking marijuana, everyone's favorite plant, some people's most hated plant. We'll get to the bottom of that, hopefully. We'll ask a lot of questions, hopefully some you've never heard asked before. That's my goal anyway. And try to keep an open mind, of course. I wanted to bring a crystal in on this adventure, so I brought in peridot. I thought, to me, that's the crystal that most embodies, let me zoom in here, the same energy as our beloved plant. The sunlight is waning. Hold on. Come on, little guy. Well, this one is camera shy, but that's all right. That's a peridot. Maybe we'll catch him in a different light later. But I've lost Tara. Yeah, it's the energy of peridot is optimistic, joyful, exuberant, right? It takes a mundane time and it makes it kind of fun. It takes a fun time and it makes it exciting. It takes it an exciting time and it makes it thrilling. It takes a thrilling time and it makes it Michael Jackson. I don't know what that means. Let's see if this light will work. Anyway, Tara's going to try to connect to the plant itself to get our answers, and we'll see who she can connect to. That's our hope. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
All right, who are we connected to?
The frequency of the plant. 714. 714.
What's the significance of that number?
That's the key, the code in the reality framework.
That's the code that represents your essence?
We are part of the program, but a key within that program. So, in essence, outside of the program and within the program.
Okay, so let's start there. You were placed here as part of the program?
Yes.
For what purpose?
To be a key that through free will, humans and other beings on the planet would be able to ask for that key. That key would then appear and help to unlock a part of the ego control so that one can view the ego.
Okay, so who placed you here?
Dimension 7, we can't name.
So you're not part of the control mechanism here.
No.
You're placed here to aid humanity in ascension?
Ascension would be a byproduct.
Okay. You're placed here to help humanity raise its vibration by looking at the ego?
Yes.
And that's why you physiologically match perfectly with our human receptors?
Yes. No coincidence.
Okay. Why if it's such a beneficial plant for humanity, why do some people have negative experiences with it?
The experience is their perception based on the perception of their ego. They're witnessing their ego for the first time, face to face. It can be a frightening experience.
Okay. So is it fair to say that use of the plant helps us to perceive the fourth realm?
Yes.
And it's fair to say that it affects each person's psychic ability differently.
Differently. Everyone is coded differently.
So the reason why it's been banned and illegal and criminalized is because it doesn't fit the control narrative?
Yes. Why would they give the prisoners the key?
Hmm. Are the other plants, such as ayahuasca and psilocybin, also from the seventh realm?
Some are from different realms, but also know that although our particular frequency or plant, as you would say, comes from the seventh realm, we are also a in a contract with you, humanity. You work together in what would be your linear future to help bring us here to your linear past.
So, in the future, we'll ask for the assistance of marijuana and receive it in our past.
It'll come in the form of what you see as marijuana, but we don't have form.
So, in the higher realms, you're not a plant at all.
No.
You're an energy
Yes.
of the seventh realm.
Yes. Created in the seventh realm.
Angelic?
There are angelic beings here.
What word could we use to describe yourself?
The rays.
The rays of light.
Yes.
So you have polarity,
Yes.
positive, what we would consider positive.
What you would consider positive.
What negative effect have you had on Earth?
Some would say it would affect the balance of negative polarity beings. Negative polarity beings have as much right to exist as positive polarity beings. And in whatever polarity within this dimension energies reside, they are allowed to have their own free will and their missions and their purposes. And so, let's say humanity is in the middle in a tug of war between negative polarity and positive polarity. If there's a positive polarity sending down what could be an influence, the negative polarity would see it as a hijack of their system, that you are corrupting their free will and their free will system. Even though they might seem service to self, they still have a right.
Mm. So you're saying your negative effect is that you've infringed on the right of lower frequency beings who wish to control and manipulate others.
Yes.
Have you had any negative effect on humanity itself directly?
In the intention of being created, it was to help one to see the ego program, to open the door enough for the human to make a decision if they would wish to connect to these unknown realms, this intangible world, or to stay well within the ego. Some become so enamored with the idea of just gazing upon the door, they never go within the door. So instead, utilize the plant to stay within the ego while gazing at the door.
Thinking that they've gone beyond the ego.
Yes.
How have you benefited humanity?
There are those who utilized us, let's say, only once, and they went through the door and they decided to connect with their own power and were able to then go to that place on their own without the assistance. All they needed was the key to show them the door. And they are able to work on these things themselves now, elevate their own consciousness on their own.
Are there any names that you could give us that we would recognize who have utilized the plant medicine?
There are billions of people on earth.
All right. Good for them. Um, okay, so it makes sense why the governments would want it outlawed. So why are they relenting now? Why has weed become mainstream, at least in the United States?
It's been infused with a negative polarity.
Has something been done in the third dimension to the supply?
Third and fourth.
Well, let's start with fourth. What energetically has been done to it?
If you are in negative polarity and you feel under attack by the positive polarity, and you find the key that they are utilizing to create in what you see as an imbalance, then you would create a Trojan horse, so to speak. The positive polarity believing that they are continuing to do something good, where the negative polarity has infected that quote unquote good.
Okay, so they've done some energy work in the fourth realm. How is that translating to the third realm?
Instead of the key showing you the door to the higher self, it's showing you a door to a false light. It's really a facade of the ego. So you look back, you see your ego. You look forward, you think you see paradise. It is yet another ego. It is your ego. So those on an infected plant, so to speak, are not seeing outside the ego as easily. Some may, but that's due to level of consciousness.
So you're saying the legalized cannabis from the dispensaries is all tainted?
Not all.
I don't know. Majority?
Just like there's polarity, there's also polarity in what is tainted.
Okay. So there's some weed laced with happiness.
We could say laced with the seventh realm.
Okay, good. Um, Now is that indica or sativa?
It's not a strain, it's an energy.
Yes, I jest. Um, how come some people react so differently? For instance, I know one person who smoked it and smoked it, tried edibles, tried tinctures, tried everything. Nothing would happen until one day she took like, I don't know, 50 milligrams and then suddenly it worked.
It depends on what type of ego program that person has. Some program has been written against the key because it's happened before. Perhaps not in this lifetime.
Oh, okay. So past lifetimes, the marijuana has been involved and she has some preconceived notions in this lifetime.
She helped to create that energy.
Interesting. Um, is it addictive?
It depends on if you are walking through the door or looking at the door from your ego. Addiction lies within the ego.
What would you say about people who use it every day?
Then perhaps it has become a crutch. But this is neither negative nor positive. Just look at the purpose and why you're using this key every single day. Do you wish to gaze upon the door, walk through the door, or walk through the door with daily assistance?
uh, okay, that's funny. Does everyone need to try it?
It depends on their free will. Some have the mission that may not involve this particular energy.
But will it benefit anyone who does try it?
It's a mixed response. If a person who's not being influenced to try something, meaning they do it of their own volition, free will, and they're open to the experience, even on a low consciousness level, the energy may be beneficial for them if at the moment of seeing the door, they also then make the choice to walk through the door. Then it would be considered beneficial.
I believe I already know the answer, but I mean, can you transmute the negative energy of the weed you're ingesting um, to change its polarity?
Of course.
Of course. And this should naturally be done every time.
Yes, with everything.
Okay, let's think. I mean, so many questions, but you answered so many already. So we got an angelic realm, seventh dimensional entity come to Earth, snuck in past the control grid in order to assist humanity to awaken if they choose to take it. And the only real negative is that it can get you stuck in an endless loop.
Yes.
That pretty much sums it up.
Yes.
Okay, well, is there anything you want to say to the people before we go? I really appreciate you talking with us, and we hope to check in with you often.
Well, coming from a positive polarity, of course, we would love you to walk through the door, but that is up to you.
Thank you.
Oh, wow, the sun went
It
down.
sure did.
It was bright last time I was here.
Doing weird things over there. How did that feel?
Um, wow, pretty good. I felt like I was in a pretty happy place.
I mean, I didn't really expect that kind of answer. You know, a seventh dimensional entity snuck in past the goalie.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kept showing like key from the sky.
Yeah.
Like there's a key shaped spot in the matrix where it just slips right through.
It's one of the green lines of code. No one
Yeah.
just notices it, just slips.
So that was interesting. Yeah, it would definitely be green code.
Right. Man, so they have to release it to the people at some point, so might as well pervert it.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Interesting. I think I've heard people say something about that before. So I'm glad we looked into it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, lots of ponder there. We really encourage you to open a discussion or continue one if one has been started in the comment section because there's a lot to talk about, and this is just one perspective.
Yeah.
All perspectives are valid, and we
Yeah.
want to hear your perspective. So,
Definitely leave us a comment.
comments, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.